Now the topic is gaslighting. And what is that? Gaslighting is the effect of having a distorted perception of reality, either because of other people, words, action, intentions, or our own. Okay? So what we have heard, we didn't, what we have seen, we didn't, and we don't trust what we feel, and so on, right? So our experience is being affected by biased input. This happens with us most likely since we are children, even small things, but it happens in the context always of relationships. Imagine a child that fell down or is badly hurt, and the mom, instead of unintentionally of course, but instead, oh, this hurts, right? I saw that you felt like this, and this happens, right? And then it's taking care also of the emotional, because it's validating the experience, goes and scraps the thing and say, oh, it's nothing, it's not hurting, while both the physical and the emotional signals of the child is telling to the child there is something going on, right? So their emotional campus um, is telling a message, and then what they are receiving from the outside, it's another message. So this is just a tiny example how it can happen. Of course, in toxic relationships, this happens in a higher level, in in a way that it's attempt to manipulate, to control, and to harm the person. Which the example that I gave, it's not of that, but also happens, and it can start like that, small scale. Okay. So then, self gaslighting comes when we are doing this to ourselves. Oh no, it wasn't that bad. Oh no, probably he didn't mean that. Or you enter in a room and someone or people were talking about you, and you enter in the room, even in, I don't know, work context, and then you feel the vibe and people start talking, and I'm like, something here is weird, and then you tell yourself, no, there is nothing going on, when you already felt that there was. Or more extreme cases, like it happened to me, like abuse was happening and I was being punished by talking, so I completely dissociated and created an altar that it said, no, abuse, it's not happening. So this was also due to extreme gaslighting, that I needed to cope with that. And on top of it, I was being shamed. If I talk about this, it's like, you are a liar, that's why no one likes you, and so on. So at some point, people will always choose, when we are not safe, you always choose what feels safe and approval, in spite of, no, it's not what I want to say, over, it will choose that over authenticity. So of course I gave in to the reality. Being a child is what it is. But I want to highlight here that I have learned that actually the only type of gaslighting there is, it's self-gaslighting. Why? Because you can choose, no matter what other people are saying or doing, you can choose to stick to your truth and to be, in alignment with your inner guidance that tells you what is. I have learned this from my daughter. She's 4. I have learned this from her, so my little angel. So it is true. And this actually was what helped me to break like severe states in confusion due to gaslighting. Okay. So there is even a social, I want to share this because it's very curious. There is a social experiment that was done, that a group of people are in a room and they have an object, and the object, imagine it's blue, it's clearly blue. And then they say, everyone will say that it's red. That comes the last participant, and they ask the whole group in line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Everyone says blue, 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 blue. When it gets to the last one, the person says blue when it is red. Then they explain what happened and the experiment, what was about, and the person goes like, no, of course it's red, I saw that it was red. And I ask, why did you say blue? And there are examples of this in different contexts with different examples, and it's because we as humans, we feel rejection. We know in our bones since the cave times that connection means survival, isolation, rejection means death. So like I said in the beginning, we will always choose safety and approval, over authenticity. And this is the reason that why gaslighting works, gets implemented, and then goes on, and then we do it to ourselves in relationships, even if we are already not in the same context or in the same dynamics that we were when we were children. Okay. So this has few consequences for the mind, and they are not small. So gaslight causes confusion and a lot of self-doubt. So even in the self-esteem without ourselves. Why? Because we perceive things not being what they are, or it's like we don't trust our own discernment. We don't trust, it affects our discernment. So this affects our self-esteem, how we see ourselves, how we think that the world is seeing us, causes a lot of confusion and about what is and what is not. Self-confidence, like that you dare to do something or to go for something because you can trust yourself, right? When you have that inner trust, you move different in life. So gaslighting affects that a lot, and puts the mind in a very fragile state where reality is always unsafe, no matter what you choose. Okay, so yeah, it's good. I have my notes there, of course, I do. Why? Because that's the thing. It's not like I choose this and then I feel safe and then now I know the truth. You get even to the linear of paranoia, and I explain a bit why. Because even if this time it's A and B it's B, and you see it, you don't trust it because you already developed a self-image, an inner relationship with reality that it's based on distrust. Like I said, confusion and self-doubt. So, and if you have people in your life intentionally doing this to you, like I did, and many people who have narcissistic relationships and abusive and so on, and not so good intended people that want to manipulate, they will do this intentionally to you. It will be reinforced, so it will be even worse. And then, even if like this time it is what I want, and this is the person, or this is the action, or this is my choice, this is my preference, you will not feel secure in it. And this, if it is extreme, can lead to states of paranoia. Why? Because you doubt yourself to the point that you don't know what is what. And then you are talking with someone and you had an experience like 5, 6, 10 times that was bad and negative. Then maybe comes the next one that it's not. And you perceive that it's not, but you don't trust what you are perceiving because you are already in gaslight mode. And you go like, is it or it's not? Is it or it's not? So you doubt, right? And then because you cannot discern among 5, 10, 20 people or intentions, or even life in general, it can come an opportunity. Will this be good for me or it's not? Oh, maybe it will be the same bad shit. So people who go into paranoia, or not fully paranoia, but they have certain states of being paranoid, it is related with deep states of abuse that were linked to gaslight. Period. It is what it is. And what I stand for, it's like medicating these people with antipsychotics. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. First, because it doesn't solve the problem. The person is not becoming aware. The person is not being empowered. The person is not having the clarity that needs, because this is what they need. They need to be being clarity, reassurance, and rebuild the trust. And second, we are sending the message that they are the problem. They are the problem, not that they suffered something and now they have a problem and we can help them. You see the difference? Because by putting a diagnosis on it and give it a pill, it's saying, yeah, you really have a problem there, and there is nothing we can do about it. So the person that is in that state, or navigates through states and then maybe gets a little better and then goes again, because the contact with the toxic person or people is still on. So even if there is a bit of improvement, then comes back. What happens is the person is already aware, because experienced states of paranoia, it's not being crazy. It's not that you are so detached from reality that you become delusional and you don't know what it is. So you know that something is not okay. And you have that self-assessment and say, okay, I'm not okay. Something here is not matching. I have, for example, my ex-husband did this often with a phone, with keys, and so on. To the point that the third, fourth time I was putting the keys in the place, and I was like going the corridor and looking back and making sure that the keys were where I put them. When we go out in the same day or the next day, the keys are not there. And because I was already so into this state and self-doubt and doubting myself and not seeing through what it was happening, and then I go there and actually the fact is the keys are not there. And then you hear something like, yeah, you're always the same. Yeah, you are getting worse. This is not good. you are getting crazy, you're something like that. And I was in this state when I was already under huge exhaustion, suffering a lot of trauma, and sometimes under drugs. So what happens is, when I go there and I don't see the keys, and then I'm sure that I put the keys there, of course I know that something is not going okay, something is wrong. And what it's being said, what is the approved narrative, it's that I am the problem, I am crazy. So the person experienced that, and this generates what? Fear. So paranoia, it's a marriage between gaslight and fear. You have fear that you are actually developed, because like I said, self-assessment exists and you are in contact with reality, and I'm like, oh my god, the keys are not there again, or I don't know where I put my phone, or I always forget this, and this is not happening, this is being set up, right? Or even lies. No, I said that the dinner will be at 7. No, you said at 8. You said at 7. You said at 8. And then always confuses with hours. At some point, it's like, yeah, I forgot. Or then, it's my problem. And you gaslight yourself. You make it about yourself because you don't have a reference point. Because you're not even aware that you are being gaslighted. So you cannot say, no, wait a minute, this is a setup. You don't go and distrust the person that is with you, right? And again, I know that I'm repeating myself, but I will say it. If you have been a victim of gaslighting already since childhood, this is normalized. You already have this in your mechanism, in your dynamic relationships. So someone doubting you, and you go and doubt yourself, or someone saying something that doesn't feel, and someone says something so confident and so firm, you will choose you as the default to be wrong, not the other person. Second, you will not say, okay, someone is intentionally trying to hurt me and manipulate me, because the moment you are aware, you stop being in a relationship. Or not. For me, it took me a while, but other things that I will not bring here, other safety and other issues that were involved, okay? So by this assessment that we do, we generate fear. And with gaslighting, that is already confusion and self-doubt, plus the fear that comes from the self-assessment, and the fear that is the other person tell you that you have a problem, you need help. In my case, I have a threat that I will be put in the clinic, I'm in not conditions to take care of my children, and so on. It increases. So you get more scared of your environment, of the interactions of people, and this is where the paranoia enters. Because it's not quite a paranoia. I call it paranoia so people understand why this behavior happens. What is the root? We see it as paranoia, but inside of the person, this is what is happening, okay? So we cannot go and label the person and give him medicine and just say you are the problem, because that just reinforces the root cause of the problem. That the person already doesn't trust themselves, doesn't understand what is going on, doesn't have clarity, doesn't have how to trust in someone else in the situation or in themselves. And then we go and diagnose and say, yeah, that's the problem. I confirm you are the problem. Take the pill, because there is no solution for you. That's not the way. What we are doing here, we are scapegoating the gaslighting victims. So that's definitely not the solution. That's not the way. So I share this information because first, it's good for me, and second, I believe that this can help someone. So if you were a victim of gaslighting, or are still going through, and of course, if you are going through, you are doubting, take this as an example and then study this like I did, and understand and process your memories, and tune into the intentions, and analyze and compare patterns, and see, actually see yourself as yourself, and don't let so much the opinion of others or actions affect you. And if that affects you, also analyze that and work with that, and do inner work to solve those patterns that you have, those dynamics, because there is a way out of this abuse, confusion, uh, mental disturbed states, like crossing the line to paranoia, that you don't have to be trapped in it. You don't have to fear your own mind. When your mind becomes a scary place, you live a scary life. It's a scary world out there, right? Because inside it's also scary. So there is a way to overcome those fears and to bring understanding to it, because like I said, what it's necessary, it's a lot of clarity, truth, understanding, solid experiences, and grounding. Okay, so if you got yourself into some safe ground, talk openly with the people around you about this, and have situations when this is even over and it's just normalized. It's even reinforced. People reinforce that you are valid, that you could transmit your message as it is. The people heard exactly what you said. You were understood, okay? And a lot of truth about what was and about what is. So you need a lot of reinsurance to heal. And my message of hope, it's like it is possible to heal, and it is possible to let go all of that and move forward to a healthy life, to meet healthy and compatible people. Okay? I hope this helps. Much love.